Hi, friends! I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are an excellent little podcast.
Presenting you a little movie podcast starring Zach and Mitch.
Wait, we're doing a podcast?
We are doing a podcast, Zach, and this time, try to be optimistic.
No. Absolutely not.
So we reviewed Amsterdam, or we are reviewing Amsterdam.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, this was a bit of a shock for us.
Yeah.
Just to put it lightly. But all right, we'll go ahead and kind of get right into it, though. So this was directed and written by David O. Russell. I think this was actually a passion project for him a little bit. But can I go ahead and start out with my first thoughts on David O. Russell's stuff?
Yeah, sure.
The passion wasn't there.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to agree with you. In terms of there was no passion, I just don't think it was a passion project for him.
It was just muted, man. Like everything on this. Like the screenplay was just meh. The color palette was just meh. The shots were just meh. Like everything was just meh coming from him.
I think with a lot of the allegations of abuse on the sets that he's been in has really taken a toll on David O. Russell. Mm-hmm. And I think his ego has gone from like, oh, I'm Academy Award nominated director and screenwriter to shit, no one wants to work with me because I'm mean to the cast.
Yep.
He's lucky that Christian Bale came back because I know those two had like a beef.
Yeah.
I know him and Amy Adams will never work together again. Nope. So I just think it's one of those deals that now that this film is not getting good reviews at all. It's getting bad word of mouth. So I think it's a way of telling David O. Russell like, hey,
your time's pretty much up.
Mm-hmm. So a brief summary is, in the 1930s, three friends witness a murder, are framed for it, and uncover one of the most outrageous plots in American history.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're new for a little movie podcast, you'll find out that we do things a little bit differently here. So how we split up our episodes is we're going to start with the non-spoiler section where we give our first thoughts on the movie overall, the cast performances, a couple of non-spoiler things. Then we'll move into our review, which Mitch will move into our categories later when we get a little closer to the review section. Mm-hmm. And then we'll move into our spoiler section where we talk about spoilers. Mm-hmm. And then we'll wrap it up just like our old friends in Amsterdam did.
Yeah. So you've been talking a lot, but can you give us your first thoughts, Zach?
Yeah, absolutely. Amsterdam. I was actually really looking forward to this movie. The cast is stacked. It looks spectacular. The story seemed very, very intriguing of trying to claim innocence to a murder that you didn't do. Like, and there's an underlying plot behind it all. Like, sign me up. Like, a very easy sell to get me into the seats for it. Mm-hmm. But oh my God, did this movie drag. I went in to this movie very wide awake, very ready to watch this, and came out of it feeling like I just ran like the worst marathon of my life. I swear to God, it was not the best. Mitch, what did you think of Amsterdam?
So I also was very excited for this movie because, David O. Russell, Christian Bale, like, let's do it all over again. This is Oscar bait. But I will agree with you, this film dragged. And the sad part of it is the first act was so, like...
It was actually kind of crisp. The first act was a little bit there.
Yeah, but overall, just this film, extremely disappointing.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, I will say, let's start with the highlights of this film.
Sure.
That in the cast itself.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our main three. Let's start with Christian Bale, who played Berenstain. Berenstain, that's right.
I think he corrected somebody in the film.
So that's one of the jokes, is that he keeps on correcting everybody. But it's the pre-witch thing that I'm used to. But what did you think of Christian Bale's performance in this one?
I thought he was really good. I don't think it's his best work, but I think he did what was best with the script and the direction he was given. And I just felt he had such a great chemistry with not just the other two of the main three characters, but with every single character in this film.
Yeah, absolutely.
He just had this amazing chemistry with everybody that he shared the screen with, and I just couldn't take my eyes off him. And I gotta give Christian Bale credit. His singing voice isn't too bad.
Oh, yeah. Well, you've seen Newsies, haven't you?
No?
Oh, he's the lead in Newsies.
Well, I'll be.
He's got an amazing singing voice. Yeah.
Yeah, but what'd you think?
Yeah. Christian Bale is usually always a win in my book. His charisma shows in this still. Like you said, he did the best with what the script had to offer him, but you can just feel his charisma in the entire movie. You can tell that he is actually trying to give a great performance out of what he's given, and the three main leads are feeding off of each other really, really well, and he did a really good job of not only giving energy but throwing it back to each, not only like the three like you said, but to all the characters, which I thought was really, really interesting.
Next we have John David Washington, Denzel's boy, as Harold Woodman. So I really like John David Washington as Harold. I feel like he had this professional, I mean, he played the lawyer out of the three.
Yep.
But he brought this professionalism that I didn't expect from him, because the only film I've seen him in was Tenet. And he was like
Cuckoo, ka-choo.
Yeah, literally. But he brought this like professional lawyerism that I've never seen from an actor of his caliber. I'm like, well, and I was very impressed with what he did.
Oh yeah, 100%. He was definitely the straight man of the group for sure.
For sure. And I can't help it. Every time I hear him talk, I'm like, that's Denzel. That's Denzel. I mean, but he's getting really close to stepping out of Denzel's shadow, and he's so close. He's not there yet, but he is so close. But Zach, what'd you think?
Oh yeah, I echo everything you said. The dude is amazing. Plays the straight man really, really well. Because Christian Bale kind of plays the schemer. John plays the more straight man, like this is what we should do, and Margot Robbie is like the wild card of them all. But like he does it really, really well. Anytime that he talks, I just kind of get a little bit encapsulated, because like I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what we should do. Yeah, you're right. There were complications, totally, 100%. Yeah, no, I really, really wonderful performance.
But now it's Margot Robbie's turn as Valerie Vose. So like you said, she was kind of the chaotic.
Yeah, she was definitely the wild card.
But that's the thing. She's so good at playing these chaotic characters, like Harley Quinn. Her character in Wolf of Wall Street was very chaotic in a way. And I'm just like, I need more of Margot Robbie.
Oh, 100%.
Well, and here's the thing. Margot Robbie is just a natural born, I know what I'm doing actress, because she's been in these great films such as this isn't great, but she's done great performances in films.
Yeah.
And that are just notoriously bad, like Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put this in that category. But she just knows what to do, even though the film itself is just like, eh.
Yeah.
So it kind of speaks to her as the actress of like, I'm going to do my part even though I know the film is shit. So, but what'd you think?
I really enjoyed her character, actually. Out of the three, I think hers was the strongest performance in my opinion. Yeah, I think I always do like a wild card, and that's the reason why I think it gives brevity and a sense of I don't know what's going to happen next to the film, and like she has connections throughout the film, which is kind of how the three of them kind of get from point A to point B to point C, is through most of her connections. It's just kind of how it is. So she's also kind of used as a story device. So I thought it was fine. I really loved her performance. I thought it was really, really wonderful. And again, it's just kind of like another of she did the best with what she got.
Literally.
Kind of thing.
And I feel like she's getting tired of hearing that because, like, again, she's been in really bad films like Suicide Squad, like this, and like The Legend of Tarzan and everything. So I'm like, we need more films from her, like I, Tonya or other films like that from her. But okay, so there's the cast.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to the performances, there really wasn't a bad performance.
There really wasn't. Like, I feel like if you were going to go see this movie, it's the cast you should go for.
Oh, yeah.
And we're just trying to limit ourselves to 3 because if we went through this entire cast list, it would be quite
a long one.
Quite a long one. Like, one thing that we can bring up like Taylor Swift was marketed in this movie. She did fine. She did better than I thought she was going to. She did kind of have a bit of a noticeable actor's tick of like leaning forward every single time that she talked. But like seeing her start from like Valentine's Day to like this performance, she's grown as an actress. So I thought I will actually give her a heads up on that one.
Yeah. So now we're going into non-spoilerly things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Zach fell asleep 3 times.
I fell asleep 3 times. This barely has anything to do with the movie, but like literally, I came into this movie like spry as a chicken. This was a matinee, like dead center in the middle of the day. Like
we were gonna do a double feature.
2:30.
It was 2:30.
Yeah. So like dead center in the middle of the day. I'm ready. I'm going. We go in. This is great. And then like I fall asleep 3 times. Like this really. Now, I'm no stranger to like sometimes like having my head dip sometimes in a movie. It does happen every now and again. But like this put me to sleep on 3 separate occasions. So congratulations, I think is what I can say to David O. Russell, I guess, in this instance. I don't know. But
I find it funny how of all the films we've seen, and I figured I would be the one to fall asleep, but you've fallen asleep way more times in the movie theater than I have.
Well, I mean, like, I dip every now and again, but it
depends.
It really depends. But yeah, this was significant. This was like falling asleep out of boredom, not because of like I'm tired. Like this is
So basically what we're trying to tell you is we don't have much to say in terms of our non-spoiler section, just that Zach fell asleep 3 times.
Yep. That's literally it.
So now we're going to talk about our review.
Yeah.
So basically what we do, we technically have 5 categories, but today we're going to talk about 3. We have Eat It Up, meaning we enjoyed the film. We definitely recommend it. If you can't catch it in the theater, try to get it on streaming whenever it does. But we definitely say go and see it in the theater.
It ain't that one for this.
Zach, don't spoil it. We have Needs to Cook a Little More, meaning maybe a director change, a script change, an actor or actress change. We think the film was okay, but it needed something a little bit more to make it great or good.
Yeah.
And then we have Feed It to the Dog, meaning we do not enjoy it. We don't recommend it. However, we do say still see it and form your own opinion, because we're just 2 guys reviewing a film. What do we know? We know a lot. But yeah,
we know decent.
We know decent. Those are our 3 categories.
Yeah. So
Zach, you started with the thoughts.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Okay. So part of me, when I was deciding what I was going to give this for our review, I was very vehemently, I want to give this cook a little more, just based off of the actors' performances alone, because you should be able to see these for their performances, because each of these actors, again, we genuinely can't find a sore thumb in this cast. Like, everyone was firing on all cylinders in terms of casting. However, I then realized, for Cook a Little More, there's got to be more salvageable in this than just the cast. So, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, nah, there was just too much going on in this one. I'm feeding this to the dog. This is... go see it, like, just to see this wonderful cast. Mm-hmm. But like, it's strap in. Like, this is like a streaming movie. Like, I wouldn't even say go see this in theaters. This is a wait for a while and maybe pick it up on streaming or Voodoo or rental or something. This isn't worth your money.
So I also am going to agree. I am going to feed this to the dog, but there's a part of me that says it needs to cook a little more.
Yeah, there is that small little voice, right?
Yeah, there's that little like knot in my stomach saying like, no, it needs to cook a little more. There's a part of me that says it needs to go into a certain garbage disposal.
I wouldn't go that far.
It's close for me.
The cast saves it from that, in my opinion.
Not by much. Because again, the film is just a bunch of like convoluted plot points, and David O. Russell, you can feel his ego is big in this film.
Oh yeah,
and just I'm feeding this to the dog.
Yep. Well, so that is our episode. If you want to remain unspoiled, so thank you so much for listening to us, guys. If you don't want any spoilers, go ahead and email us at elpodcastmz@gmail.com. If you want to reach out, say hi, or give any suggestions or anything, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
But if you wish to stay, Zach, sound the alarm.
Wah, 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 wah. Spoiler alert. There's not much spoilers for this one.
So welcome to our spoiler section.
Yeah.
And the first thing is,
we have a movie called Amsterdam where it barely takes place in Amsterdam.
they are literally in Amsterdam for less than an act.
Oh God! Like, it's important, and it's probably, to be honest, the most interesting part of the film is when they actually are in Amsterdam.
I mean, you literally see Mike Myers do a salt dance. And it's the best thing out of the entire movie. Like,
I thought I was dreaming when I woke up from that part. I thought I wasn't actually seeing that, but that actually happened.
I will also say Mike Myers, I was very impressed with his performance.
Impressed, yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Evil in a drama. I love it. Fantastic. But yeah, so the three characters meet in the middle of World War I, and they decide that they don't want to go back to America. So they decide to settle in Amsterdam.
For all of like
half a year.
A year. And then they go, you know what? Nah, let's head back to America.
Well, one of them decides to go back.
Yeah.
But then, and it's just, again, it's a convoluted mess.
Yeah.
And I wanted to wanted more in Amsterdam.
Yeah. Because
a lot of the things that the story did out of Amsterdam was just an absolute dumpster fire.
It was a mess, man.
Yeah,
everything was all over the place.
But enough about Amsterdam, because there's literally nothing in Amsterdam. There's a murder.
There is a murder. It's the murder of their general for their unit that literally created their unit and brought the three of them all together pretty much. Mm-hmm. But honestly, because of how much of a mess this movie is, we're not even going to kind of go into all that. Essentially, long story short, capitalism is the enemy of this, and five really rich people want to make a change for that, and they want to change America to make it to become more Mussolini.
Yeah.
If that's my best way of putting it. Mm-hmm. So they want Robert De Niro to employ the veterans at a veterans gala to go, hey, make me
the dictator. Not an election, just push for me to lead this country and it will happen. To which the general was like, you fucking crazy? No. Played by Robert De Niro, which we always love and adore. Mm-hmm. And then you find out, like, yeah, it's just basically like capitalist Nazis that want to run the country, and it was spoiled. Well, and the thing is, the group that is trying to get him to do this, it's like the group of five.
Yeah.
And basically you kind of realize that the Nazi symbol is two fives, like connecting each other.
Which, to me, that was kind of like a bit of a stretch, in my opinion. Yeah. But, whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, the whole thing was planned by Nazis.
Yeah, and I think I get what they were kind of going for, how like capitalism and heavy dictatorship is going to be the death of this country. Mm-hmm. Like, I get it, especially in the times that we live in. Like, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
But no. Y'all, like, Which also, wasn't this a movie by 20th Century Studios?
In Disney?
Yeah. So speaking of which, we are Disney cast members and we do not speak for the brand of the company. And
that's it.
And our opinions are our own. But then again, this movie was made before the merger. Like, I believe this was all shot. And it was greenlit after.
It was greenlit after.
E.
So yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Like we were saying, for those that left before our spoiler alert, please like, subscribe, and email us at elpodcastmz@gmail.com. We would love to hear your thoughts, and we also want to hear your suggestions. What do you want us to watch? What do you want us to review? We have a certain dream ship to be going on here pretty soon.
Hopefully it's our dream that we're going to be on that dream, but don't worry, we hope that we get that going. We'll probably give you guys an update within the near future. Whether or not that's going to happen, we're literally just waiting on schedules, and that schedule literally drops tonight as of this recording. So that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. We're hopefully gonna have a fun time and have a really fun vacation.
If not, eat a lot.
Eat a lot. That's not gonna be good for me, but it's gonna be fine.
But until that time,
I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch,
and we are an excellent little podcast.